reports, the liability and maturity analysis report. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So the reports in Nakisa, we have several types of reports. We have basic compliance reports. Upon some of them we have already covered in our previous office hours, as Karina mentioned before. And today I'll be covering the disclosure reports for maturity analysis and the lease liability. So the reports, again, they display the necessary information required to prepare the disclosures according to your accounting standards that you use in the company. And they can be prepared for the contract or the target currency, depends on the use. There are minimum filters that are required for the reports, which type of report you would like to have. The fiscal variant of the company, it can be calendar 360, or it can be fiscal variant 445 or any other. The other thing we need is currency, the accounting standard, and you can select the year you're like to report to show you the results for. The lease liability report. In the lease liability report, this gives us the information for the future finance charges split between the short and the long term, as well as the long term and short term principal liability for the period selected. It does not work for the low value short term and the service contracts, nor does the maturity report as well. So I can show you an example here, and I can show you in Excel as well. It gives us summary. Let me show you this, the Excel. So I have already generated a report based on the selection that I had initially made here. I had selected in the disclosure reports section, which we come to this section by going to the main menu in the compliance report section and disclosure reports. Thereby, I selected the lease liability report and I made my selection. I'll show you my selection on the Excel. I selected the reports to be running for the year 2022 for the period 1 until 12. I selected the system, DIS1. I selected the lease area, business unit, and company code. So you can make the selection as detailed and filtered as required. At the same time, we have to ensure that the selection can give us the currency, which they must have a common currency in order to give us results. So I have selected the asset class equipment. And as I mentioned before, the first section will give us the general selection of the contract. It is covered in the blue section here. It will give us multiple details. All the information that we have given here, it will be split for each contract ID. And going on the right hand side of this Excel, we will see now the section gives us here the details in the contract currency. I have selected USD for the report. So this will show me the contract currency. And here in this section, it will show me in the target currency. In this section, I have selected the USD, so it will show me in USD. We can see the columns here. It shows us the information. The columns are identical for the target currency and the contract currency. So the sections given here, the contracts is the same columns that are given in both sections is the short-term future interest expense, the future interest, the accrued interest, as well as the short-term principal closing and the long-term principal closing. We have the identical columns in the target currency. On the green part on the top, it gives us the summary for each class. For this report, I had selected only the equipment. Thereby, it only gives me one line item for equipment. Does anybody have a question for the lease liability report? Okay. I will hop onto the maturity analysis report. The maturity analysis report, this provides us the information for the next 5 years for the contracts and the amount that is due. In this section, I selected all the asset classes. The remaining parts of the selection criteria, I left it same as the lease liability report. I would like to show you the section of the summary first. So in the summary section, we will see that we have multiple items because the report is classified. It's showing us for the different types of asset for our disclosure reports. And then going back and showing you here is the main thing for the maturity analysis report. It shows us each contract and the amount that will be due for each the next 5 years. So the maturity analysis report is giving us the next 12 months as compared to the maturity analysis by calendar year. It gives us for the fiscal year. So if I show you my slide for 1 second. So here we see that the maturity analysis report will show us the next 12 show payments for the first column for the next 12 months, and similarly it will show the other 12 months following for each next 5 years. Whereas if you look at the maturity analysis report by the calendar year, it will show us for each year, starting from Jan 1st to December 31st. So the example I'm showing here is that the first column will show the remaining payments in the same calendar year as a selected period date. So for example, if I choose the period date 6 and my selection is starting the first period 2023, ending 6th period 2023, the first column will show me July 2023 up to December 31st, 2023. So it'll show me 6 months. Unlike the first report here, that was maturity analysis report, which shows me the next 12 months. One is probably more used for the finance statement presentation. We can see that it shows us what is due exactly next year. In this example, we don't see much difference because I chose the same periods, 1 and 12. And that's it. The remaining parts, the first section is always showing us the details of the contract that we selected. And then it shows that in the contract currency, the green part, the columns are identical for the target currency. And then we have the summary. The summary is always in the target currency, only by the different asset classes. Anybody has a question?